Recording in progress.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the February 3rd, 2026 Thurston County Board of Commissioners business meeting. Today on the agenda, we have our business meeting at 2, followed by 2 public hearings at 3:30. We'll start by calling the meeting to order and beginning with a Pledge of Allegiance from District 1.
Stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bless you.
Thank you.
We would also like to start today with a land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge and thank the indigenous Salish peoples whose elders and ancestors have lived on and stewarded the lands and waterways of this county with great care, and who continue as sovereign nations today, specifically the Squaxin, Nisqually, and Chehalis people. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connect across all barriers of heritage and difference. The purpose of this acknowledgement is to disrupt ongoing erasure of injustices done and to remember history as a stepping stone towards healing. We commit to working together to honor our past and build our future with truth. At this point, I'd like to ask for an approval of the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Now it's an opportunity for public comment. This is for public comment that is related to any items that are included on the agenda. There's an opportunity for comment on general matters at the end of our meeting. I'd like to remind everybody the public comment guidelines. The Board of County Commissioners welcomes comments from the public at all meetings. There are guidelines governing such comments to ensure that they are appropriate and do not take advantage of the fact that most meetings are televised. You need to please introduce yourself and the address you reside in the county. State which agenda item or number you are speaking to. Address the board, not the audience or staff. Please silence your cell phones. The board does not respond to public comments, but the county manager may follow up with specific items as needed. Speakers have 3 minutes to address the board. Meeting attendees cannot donate their speaking time to another person. Please be respectful. The board reserves the right to restrict the person's opportunity to address the meeting for good cause. No comments that are lewd and offensive, inflammatory, hateful, defamatory, or discriminatory in nature. No outbursts of any kind. No comments that are commercial in nature, such as promotion of a for-profit business. All materials provided to the county may be considered public records, subject to release upon request pursuant to the Public Records Act, Chapter 42.56 RCW. Withhold remarks about pending land use permits or similar matters that could eventually come before board on appeal. Also, no electioneering. Thank you for your cooperation. We have one individual signed up for public comments related to agenda items. That is Mr. Barry Halverson. Please step forward, sir. You have 3 minutes.
Good afternoon, Chair, Commissioners. I am Barry Halverson, co-chair of the Lake Lawrence Lake Management District. I'm here today to respectfully request your support and approval of this resolution on agenda item number 6. At the public hearing 2 weeks ago, you heard some strong support from the citizens for continuation of the Lake Management District and its role in protecting lake health. Over a half a dozen people testified for the LMD. Over 60 submitted written testimony in favor of the LMD. One commenter expressed concerns regarding how assessments for Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife were determined. We have consistently invited Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife to participate in meetings and have provided notice of LMD meetings throughout the year to them. We provided notice on May 5th, 16 June, 30 June, 26 July, and 1 October of 2025. During this renewal process, we reached out directly to share the petition and encourage engagement. On 2 December, we sent a certified letter notifying WDFW of public hearing on the 20th of January. Following the public hearing, we contacted Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife to provide additional clarification on the comments that they made and submitted a detailed written response describing the assessments review process undertaken by the LMD. A copy of that written response was provided to you through the clerk of the board. That process included consideration of treatment cost, public use levels, invasive species risk, and proportional benefit to public and private properties. As part of the renewal, shoreline private properties were increased by 130%, while public shoreline property assessments were increased by only 10%, with no increase at all in 2026. These decisions reflect an effort to balance program needs with recognition of public agency budget constraints. Our goal remains cooperative management of Lake Lawrence to improve water quality, protect fish and wildlife habitat, and maintain recreational opportunities for the public. We want to thank you for your continued support of lake management districts and for your commitment to healthy lakes in Thurston County. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Halverson. Is there anyone in the audience or online that would like to provide public comment on agenda items before we continue that did not sign up? All right, before we continue, I'd be remiss to not acknowledge the excused absence of Commissioner Menser, who is out of state on county business. So thank you, Commissioner Menser. Next is County Manager's update. Sir?
Thank you so much, Vice Chair. Nothing to report today. Thank you.
All right. Next item is the consent agenda, items 1 through 11. We've discussed these items at great length in our work sessions throughout the last couple of weeks. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda, items 1 through 11 as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Now we have public comment on general matters. The same comment guidelines apply. We have Mr. Ken Miller signed up. Mr. Miller, you'll be given 3 minutes.
Good afternoon, I'm Ken Miller. I live in Scott Lake. Some of you have been to my property when you came on the farm tours last summer, I think it was. And I've got a picture here about where you parked when we walked down by the lake. And what I'm here for today is I just finished and got approval on a building permit. And most everything went well. Everybody I dealt with in the county was quite cordial and helpful. The process took a lot longer than I hoped, but not as long as I feared. So the reason I'm here today is on that property that some of you walked. If you looked on it, my wetlands are down by the lake more than 300 feet, and I had handouts, so you'll get copies of all this. But I had to get special work done for over 300 feet away from my house. We were just doing an add-on on our house, but we got through it. The thing I'm here to talk about today is the last step in getting final approval on the permit was I had to put up a sign. The sign that said critical areas ordinance, right where you guys were parked, right in my wife's front yard or backyard, depending on how you think about it. It doesn't require anything other than it's just a notice says you have to contact the county if you're going to do anything in there. Well, that's not true at all. That's my property, my tree farm. I can do all kinds of stuff there. I just think it's outrageous that a landowner that, as a condition of getting a building permit, has to put up what is considered to us an ugly sign that just doesn't mean anything that isn't already true. So I would hope that the county commissioners would take a look into it, and there's some other pictures there that show how bad the sign looks. It just seemed really ridiculous to me, and my wife's not happy about it, and I think most people would just take the sign down, but my public appearance is too high, so I'll probably have to leave the sign up. But I would appreciate it if you'd, when you're working with the folks that deal with that. I forget the name of the group. Please push them a little bit. You know, it's kind of like blackmail. And you have to do it if you want the building permit. And it's a little small deal, but it's important and it means something. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else who would like to provide public comment on general matters? All right, thank you. Moving on, Commissioners' Community Reports. Commissioner Mejia, would you like to start?
Yes, thank you. I guess just as maybe some follow-up, I know that critical areas ordinance is going through the planning commission process. And I'm wondering if we can follow up with Mr. Miller to be sure that those comments are submitted to the planning commissioners. Thank you. And it looks like already those are on top. So thank you, Mr. Miller, for showing up today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. 1 second. For committee reports, I've attended the Partnership Council for Juvenile Justice Legislative Steering Committee, Intercity Transit, the Washington State Association of Counties Legislative Steering Committee, and then as a reminder, hoping to see all of you tomorrow night at the event that they're hosting with legislators. Partnership Council for Juvenile Justice actual meeting. Then I attended the National Association of Counties West Region monthly meeting. Behavioral Health Association, ASO governing board meeting with Commissioner Grant. The Law Library Board meeting had its first meeting, and I'll give a little bit more updates on that tomorrow. We had a County Road Administration Board Legislative Hill Day, which was very productive. And also had a board meeting for them the next day. Attended the National Association of Hispanic County Officials Mental and Behavioral Health Summit, and also attended the Washington State Association of Counties Virtual Legislative Update. Yesterday, I attended the Latino Legislative Day, as well as the Partnership Council for Juvenile Justice Legislative Day. This morning, had a bright and early morning to volunteer with public health and social services, incredible staff, as well as other volunteers for the point in time count at Union Gospel. And as where I'm at right now in terms of legislative session, I'm having dreams, or maybe I should say nightmares, of bills going through the legislature. And so just that work continues. But that is all I have to report at this time.
Thank you, Commissioner Mejia. I've had several meetings throughout the community. Tenino held a Community in Unity social evening that was really cool. It was a joint effort between their Chamber of Commerce and their schools. That was really just more of a networking and kind of social engagement. And down there, they gave a community engagement award to the Tenino Telephone Company, which was really neat. The telephone company itself kind of backfills a lot, working kind of hand in hand with Public Works and the school. And so if anybody needs anything done above the ground, like, you know, putting up banners and things like that, the phone company is pretty cool about doing all those things for free for the community. So they got a big award for them, and I love giving them a shout out. Tenino Telephone Company is great for the, really all of South Thurston County. I've been doing a lot of meetings with legislators, promoting the county's legislative agenda and the regional legislative agenda. I think I've met probably with every member of the various legislative districts that are in Thurston County. And, things are very positive for our requests and our goals. For the most part. Other meetings include, I attended the IAC meeting, the several WASAC meetings. We held a meeting with Lewis County to talk about a proposal that they have for an additional interchange in between Grand Mound and the next one after that would be focusing on commercial vehicle traffic. So there'll be a request for a letter of support from the board to be considered at one of our upcoming meetings. And really spending a lot of time at the Capitol. Commissioner Grant?
Yeah, thanks. So for boards and commissions, I attended the Thurston Mason BHASO governing board meeting with Commissioner Mejia, the Lewis Mason Thurston area Aging, I can never say it, area agency on aging.
It is a hard one.
It really is. They call it the LMTAAA, so the AAA.
Yeah.
But I just want to mention for that Mason County is seeking support for applicants for advisory board commissions. I know that's not our county, but still want to just kind of say it out loud that if you know anybody in Mason County who would be willing to serve on an advisory board position for the aging behavior or the aging board, then please let them know that it's been 6 months of vacant positions, and so they're really trying to promote. Also, with that, there's something new called the Elderhood Roundtable that are happening these days, and so for folks who are in elder status and wanting to get together with other people on the fourth Tuesday from 1 to 3 at the Lacey Library. These will be happening.
We should let Commissioner Menser know about that.
Yeah, we will. That's a great idea. We'll make sure that we put that on his calendar for him.
Yeah.
And then I participated in the PAC Mountain or the Pacific Mountain Workforce Board audit entrance conference. Listened in on the Regional Housing Council, attended the Transportation Policy Board agenda meeting. Attended the Yelm City Council meeting where the annexation was approved, and so Yelm is moving forward with all 8 zones. I did a check-in with the Chehalis Tribe Hope and Healing Center, attended with Commissioner Fournier, the Tenino Chamber event that he talked about, and then participated in a couple different meetings with people in the community, including joining up for the kickoff for the Habitat for Humanity Women's Build. Excited to be partnering to lead a team for that, which will be happening in May. And then on internal coordination, met with the auditor, the county manager, and then for legislative advocacy, I met with Senator McCune along with the Lewis Mason Area Agency on Aging partners, and we went in and talked about and provided an overview of health homes and the importance of health homes and for seniors. And so this is something that we're working on trying to get support. And then participated in the Crisis Care Center advocacy meetings with Director Avalos from the Thurston Mason BHO, with both Representative Dolio and with Senator Bateman to continue advancing support for the crisis system capacity. And that's about it.
Thank you. Commissioner Klaus.
Thank you. So I met with staff from the Built for Zero team to talk about data around homelessness, and they are collecting really robust data. And I think they're finally getting to a point where they'll be able to publish that data on a regular basis. It sounds like they're getting ready to start doing monthly newsletters or updates to kind of educate the community on what's happening with our unhoused population and where people are ending up, where they're being moved from, and we'll be able to kind of keep up with what's happening on the ground. So that'll be good. We also have one of their staff members on the Homeless Services Advisory Board, so there's a pretty good chance we'll be receiving regular updates on that at our RHC meetings. So I'm excited and looking forward to that. I met with Pattison Lake residents to discuss the next steps on quiet zones, and that's a conversation I'm having when I meet with the county manager as well, so kind of trying to keep up on that and keep that conversation moving. I also did a tour with Craig Chance, the director of the Housing Authority, and we went around mostly Tumwater and Olympia area and looked at a few, like 6 different properties that they manage. And I was just kind of trying to get an understanding of the work they're doing and how the county is doing as a partner, and just kind of get some more information on how they run their different projects and the success rates and things like that. So that was very interesting, and I learned quite a bit going with them. I'm interested in doing another tour in like the Lacey area, but for the first one, we just kind of focused on the Tumwater area. So exciting projects happening there. I also had a meeting with Renee Radcliffe Sinclair from TVW to just kind of talk about upcoming improvements and expansion, and they're doing their renovation project at the building downtown. So that's really exciting how they're able to kind of grow in that way and keep our community updated on what's happening. I met with a constituent to talk about property taxes, and I attended a Thurston Climate Action Team event at the Soul Cafe downtown. That event was really cool. They had a speaker who I believe is a professor at Evergreen, talking about solar punk, which is not a concept that I have ever been familiar with, but it's kind of the evolution of different forms of punk culture, and they kind of gave examples of like steampunk and other things, and basically they connected this back to climate change and talked to us about different activities that they do with their students, like card games to kind of get people engaged in learning about climate change. So I thought that was a pretty interesting concept, and I plan to maybe adopt some of those ideas for a presentation that I'm doing in March for the Expanding Your Horizons conference, which I did last year. It's a STEAM conference for young girls and trans and non-binary kids in schools. And so I'm really looking forward to presenting there this year. We had a regional housing council meeting, and I will be giving a more thorough report on that tomorrow during our commissioner committee reports, but we had a really robust conversation. We were actually in the meeting until 6:30. It's scheduled to end at 6, but I think that's the longest meeting that I've ever had with the RHC. But there were a lot of important items to talk about, and the council itself is pretty much brand new. I'm the only representative from a jurisdiction that is on this year. I was on last year too, so every other jurisdiction has a new representative except Thurston County. So kind of exciting, working with new people, new faces, and kind of putting things in motion. This year, I think we have a lot of work to do for sure. So I'll be giving a more thorough update on that tomorrow in terms of the letter, RHC's response to the letter that was received from the mayors and chair of the board regarding contingency plans around ERP funding. I'm happy to answer questions if my seatmates have questions, but I will be giving more information on that tomorrow. I also attended the National Association of Hispanic County Officials Mental and Behavioral Health Virtual Summit. Thank you to Commissioner Mejia for letting me know about that. I thought it was a really great opportunity. My executive aide attended with me as well. They had national experts talking about suicide prevention, mental health resources, and policy trends that affect our communities. I found these conversations to be really centered around culturally responsive care and self-care, and I found that to be extremely meaningful. And I valued the focus on supporting Latino and Hispanic communities. I think overall it was a really informative and inspiring event, and I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to attend and witness the dialogue that's continuing around mental and behavioral health. It's very important. And last thing is I attended a tour of the Washington County Community Corrections Center in Hillsboro, Oregon on Friday with Prosecutor Thunheim, the Undersheriff Ruben Mencias, and a staffer from the prosecutor's office, as well as my executive aide and Commissioner Grant's executive aide. And the reason we went down there to tour is because their model is completely different than anything I've seen. It actually receives national attention. It's across from the jail, so it's a community correction center, but it's not a jail type setting. People can go there if they're in custody and they're eligible for the program. They also have transitional people who are residents there, and various categories of how people can kind of get there and various pathways on how people can get there. But the big difference between that and any jail setting is it's more of like a dormitory style setup. People wear their own clothes. The people who work there are social workers by trade, but they have been through the corrections academy, so they have correctional officer training. But the whole culture around this community corrections center is completely different. The thing that stood out to me the most was that the recidivism rate in Hillsboro, in Washington County, actually is 68%. But if you've gone through this program, the recidivism rate is only 14%. So they're definitely doing something that's working. It was very informative, and I hope that we can kind of set up more opportunities for staff to attend a tour like that and kind of figure out what we might be able to consider exploring here in Thurston County for certain components of that system that are working really well. I know we have a jail space crisis we're dealing with, so hopefully there's some way that we can kind of address that through more restorative programs. And that's all I have. Oh, I do want to say one more thing for the public. We have our home energy score ordinance public hearing coming up on February 17th. And I just wanted to give a little shout out to Rebecca Harvey, our climate program manager, and encourage the public to either come to the hearing on February 17th or submit written comments on our county website. We're still taking public comments, and if we could get them in this week, I know that you can give comments in writing up until the date of the hearing, I believe.
That's correct.
Is that correct? Okay, perfect. But the sooner the better, because we get them and we can look at them. And so if anybody has thoughts on that, it's a tool that helps home buyers understand the full cost of home ownership, including energy costs. So it's good for the buyer, it's good for the seller. There's various conversations happening in the public about the pros and cons, and I'm really interested in hearing what everybody thinks. So I would appreciate comments. You can email me directly, but the best place to do it is on our county website, and there's a page for the home energy score assessment. And that's all I've got.
Thank you, Commissioner Klaus. That brings us to the end of the meeting. So we will adjourn until 3:30, at which time we will conduct our two public hearings. One, to consider amending Thurston County Code Chapter 2.104, the Comprehensive Property Management Procedures, and another following that for the temporary partial road closure of Sexton Drive Northwest. Thank you.